Hey everyone, welcome into Picks and Parlays Power Hour. I'm your host, Hannah Mears. You can follow me on Twitter at @HannMears_ and get all of my Mearsy minutes. Better yet, subscribe, like, follow along, ring the bell for notifications on Picks and Parlays YouTube so you don't miss any of our videos that we post, including these ones that will be chopped up later, but we appreciate you tuning in. On top of that, I've seen a lot of comments saying, I wish I would have seen these picks sooner. So you've got to subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so that you're not missing out on a single minute of our content. On top of that, I want to encourage you all to take advantage of our No House advantage. It's changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Play in pick'em contests versus other people for cash. Enter the leaderboard and win big money every day and win on No House Advantage. Test your skills versus the house and earn 21 times your entry by betting on player over or unders or player matchups. Sign up now using the promo code P&P at nohouseadvantage.com, listed right at the bottom there. Again, you can sign up now using our promo code P&P at nohouseadvantage.com, or better yet, download the app on all of the app stores to get a first deposit match up to $50. Don't want to miss out on that. Take advantage of nohouseadvantage.com. Now it's time to get the Power Hour started, bringing in my first guest, Craig Trapp. Hello, Craig. How are you?
Super excited. I mean, believe it or not, we're halfway through the college football season and like a little past a third of the way for the NFL season. So it's time to start taking advantage of all that we've seen and put what we've learned into practice and to put it in your pocket.
Yeah, and before we get all of Craig's picks, I think it's also important to let everyone know that to take advantage of everything right now and make the most money you can during football season, text your full name. That's first and last name. We need that information to 614-810-7522. Get 2 free picks from our experts weekly. All you have to do is do that one time and you'll get 2 free expert picks forever if we want to. So make sure you do that. Take advantage of that and all of our other promos, including take advantage of watching our shows, like, subscribe, follow along, ring the bell for notifications. Craig Trapp, we're starting with Cincinnati favorite at SMU at -3, the total at 58.5. And it's funny because a lot of the money right now is on SMU to cover. So I need to know your expertise on this game.
Well, obviously, I'm a big Cincinnati guy. I grew up literally out of the womb. My parents were season ticket holders for UC for all sports, including football, college basketball, women's college basketball. So very familiar with Cincinnati. Even though I only live there probably 8 days a month, I still have a place there and very familiar. Follow this Bearcats team and follow Conference USA in general, really a lot. So Cincinnati favored by 3, not a surprise. I mean, this is a team that we saw what they did last year, undefeated. They run the table until they get absolutely trounced by Alabama. But what a year it was. And then people think, oh, they're going to take a big step back. Don't look at their recruiting classes, what they've done. The reason why they're still good this year, they had a lot of depth built in, even though they turned all those guys into the pros. Didn't matter. This is an SMU team that, yeah, they won last week against Navy, but it wasn't super impressive. And the week before against Central Florida in that game that got moved back because of the hurricane and everything, they absolutely got trounced the second half. I think people are just on the wrong side of this. I see it. I see a lot of tickets, a lot of the public money coming in on SMU. I don't get it, Hannah. This Cincinnati team's just the deeper, more physical. They can run the ball. They can pass the ball. They can stop the pass. They can stop the run. They pretty much can do it all, even though they weren't amazing against South Florida. South Florida had a couple of big plays there that kept that game close. I just think you take Cincinnati here. I also think you take the over. I think that's the stronger of the 2 plays because I do think Cincinnati will do whatever they want. SMU gave up a lot of points to Navy, a lot of points to Central Florida. SMU knows the only way they can win is if it's high scoring. So I think the better play on the over, but I would also take Cincinnati -3 as well. So over as the better of the 2, but Cincinnati, sprinkle a little on that as well.
Yeah, sprinkle alert. I think the only reason everyone, like you said, is going for SMU is because of how they performed against Navy. But was that really shocking? Not so sure. I would have probably picked Navy in that game, having looked ahead of time, but it's not saying I was overly impressed by SMU. So I agree. I think Cincinnati in this one, but yeah, I could see this one being a high scoring game as well. Craig, thank you as always for your college football expertise. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. All right, Craig Trapp, NFL, like we said, we're already, 7 weeks into the season. This is getting crazy. It's going so fast. And I love these NFL rapid fires that we do. I think we get a lot of content in here. We get to pick Craig's brain a lot, which is so smart when it comes to betting. So 5 NFL games, 5 minutes-ish, but I'll go ahead and let you take it away. But first, I want everyone to know before we talk about the Lions and Cowboys that if they text their full name, that's first and last name, to the number listed below, you get 2 free expert picks weekly. Make sure you do this. You only have to do it one time, and then you're signed in for life, so do it. All right, we've got the Lions at the Cowboys. Cowboys at -7. Is this too much? I don't know. Can their defense hold up? The total at 49. What do you think? Marquee matchup of the year. Come on, Lenny. Do we think that?
They call him Detroit Lenny for a reason, obviously.
Right?
I mean, this is a Cowboys team that until last week, they were able to overcome the shortcomings of that offense. A couple really bad calls, to be very honest. CeeDee Lamb, when he got the first down and they didn't call it, they went for it on 4th down, didn't get it. Kind of turned the game around, to be very honest. But still, this team is limited on offense. I think Detroit has a shot to win outright, but I think the better play, take the over. Other than the last game when they played New England kind of beat them up, smash mouth football. This Detroit Lions team did whatever they wanted on offense. Now, they've given up 35-plus points a game, but still, at least they score on offense. I like the over 49 here. I know Dallas, one of the best defenses in the league, but I think Detroit will spread them out and slice and dice them. I still think Dallas probably wins a tight game, but over is the better play here.
Yeah, especially the tight game. I'm not so sold on the 7 though in that game either. Yeah, so I'll have to look into that a little bit further. But the next game we've got on the slate, the Jets at the Broncos. Broncos favored at -1.5. I'm sorry, I don't see it at all. This Jets team actually looks like they're coming together a little bit. The total at 38.5. I need your feedback on that.
I mean, who would think the Jets 3-0 straight up and against the spread on the road, 4-2 at this time, both straight up and against the spread. I think they stay undefeated on the road. This is a Denver team. Thank goodness this isn't prime time. I mean, they have destroyed 4 primetime games or three or 4 already primetime games. Absolutely look terrible. Take the Jets here plus the 1.5. I don't think we'll need it, but that's one of those lines like it's like you think you want the money line, and then all of a sudden something weird happens. They lose by 1. So just take it's a gift, 1.5. The Jets win outright though. I think they stay undefeated on the road here.
That's got to be my best bet. Absolutely. I mean, the Jets are really gelling at this time, and I have zero faith in the Broncos and what they're doing at the moment. So I'm sorry, I can't do it. Put some respect on the Jets. Seahawks at Chargers. Chargers favored at -6. This one's kind of interesting to me. I want to be sold on this Chargers team at this point in the season like I thought I would be, but I'm just not so sure. The total at 51. What are you thinking? Geno Smith and his Seahawks, do they do it?
Look at Geno Smith's passing numbers. They're as good as just about anybody in the league. You have to kind of like forget what you learned about Geno when he was back with the Jets, and then anytime he's out, was filling. This guy has been unbelievable this year, and he has tons of weapons. Now I know they have a backup running back injured running back situation. I don't think it matters. This is a Chargers team that barely beat that Broncos team we just talked about. Take the Seahawks up +6. I'm probably going to sprinkle a little money line, because I think the Seattle is a live underdog here. I think they easily cover, but I think they can win this game outright.
I like the Seahawks at +6. Also, Justin Herbert looks like that injury actually is hurting him and his accuracy at the moment. All right, next game, rapid fire. We go quick. Kansas City Chiefs favored at -3 at the 49ers. Jimmy G and the Niners. Man, what do you think about them this year? Total 48.5. Kansas City, they tend to struggle at some points in the seasons like this. Later down the road, I'd be picking the Chiefs, no brainer. But what do you think about this?
I think the 3 points will come into effect. I think the Chiefs will win the game. I think the 49ers are going to cover. That just sounds weird, but it's just the way it happens at home. They're undefeated this year, both straight up and against the spread. I know they weren't good at Atlanta, but that Atlanta team is better than people think. And I think they're a dangerous, sneaky team, especially as underdog like they were at home last week. I think San Francisco at home circles the wagons. I think they at least easily cover, might even win this game. I mean, that's just that Jimmy G and company, they just are very good on defense. They can run the ball. They just have to protect it and not turn the ball over at home. I think he'll do a better job of that.
I think so too. Yeah, San Francisco could be a surprise team for some people for sure. And Kansas City, like I said, they can struggle a little. That defense, that Kansas City defense, I'm not completely sold on this year. I think that's their weak spot. So anything could happen against Jimmy G and the Niners at home. All right, do we have one more? Did we do 5 already? Oh, of course. I know. This is the one we want to talk about. Steelers and Dolphins. I was just trying to get through that. Be like, do we want to talk about the Dolphins favored at -7? I actually think that might be a lot. Total at 45 with Tua back. I think that's why that line is where it is. Waddle and Hill could potentially pick apart. It's the Steelers cornerbacks this week, which is what I'm scared about. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be back. Freiermuth's back in action. So I think it may be more of an even game than what people think, but I want to know what you think.
Well, first of all, this is the Sunday night football game, Sunday night late game. I'll have a best bet in this game on the total. So we're just going to talk about the side. This is a Steelers team that, hey, that win at home against Tampa Bay, that Tampa Bay defense is really good. Yes. Rookie quarterback. Now he's in the concussion protocol. I think he'll play. Sounds like he'll play. Either way, this is why you paid Mitch. He comes in. I think he'll give us plenty. Tua, of course, coming off the injury protocol as well. Who knows with that? I mean, it's the standalone game. I can't imagine if he gets injured again, like he did on the Thursday Night Football with the fingers and all that. It could be ugly for the NFL. But either way, I don't care who's starting at quarterback. Give me the Steelers +7. I just think the Steelers have kind of figured it out. Like, hey, we got to play pass. We got to run the ball and play action pass. That's how this team's going to win games and play to that defense. I know that defense a couple weeks back embarrassed against Buffalo. That Buffalo team's going to embarrass a few people.
A lot,
Take the Steelers here +7. I think this is going to be a pretty good game. Thank goodness it's not going to be super hot in Miami, it looks like. So, I always worry about, those teams that are starting to get cooler, then they go down to Miami early in the year, but that's not the case here. I think at night it'll probably be in the high 60s. Plenty of good weather for both of them. Take the Steelers +7.
And the way Chase Claypool performed last week is what we've expected from him all season. So maybe they figured something out when that playbook utilizing Chase Claypool a little more. Yep. Miami's going to be on their toes for that. Plus having Freiermuth back, different things like that are definitely going to play into the offense's hands. So we
and a touchdown's a lot in the NFL. So many games.
Am I sold on that? No. Do I think that, the biggest threat, like I said, is what Miami's biggest threat always is? Absolutely. With Hill and Waddle. But at the same time, you've got to utilize them 100% of the time, or else the Steelers defense can pick you apart in other areas.
They haven't protected their quarterback. There's a reason why they've had 2 concussions from Tua, one with Teddy Bridgewater. You knocked out the third string quarterback. It's like this offensive line is not unbelievable. They need to run the ball and protect those quarterbacks.
Alex Highsmith leading the league in sacks at the moment as well. All right, Craig Trapp, always appreciate your time. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. We will see you later. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, Hannah Mears. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow along, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of what we've got going on. My next guest, roll him in here. We've got Cam. I haven't really worked with you yet, Cam. Really excited to hear what you have to say. But first, I have to let everyone know that if they text this number right now, that's going to flash up on the screen, 614-810-7522. They have to text their whole name, first and last. They get 2 free expert picks weekly. Cam, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's nice to finally see you, I guess.
I know. Virtually through a screen, but what else is new? It's 2022. We expect nothing less. Also, do we expect anything less from Texas? Favored at -6.5, but Oklahoma State, the total at 61, a top 20 matchup, Big 12 rivals. I've seen this line, I think, also flirt at 4.5 as well on some pages. So keep your eyes out for that. Oklahoma State's quarterback is hurt, which is why I think Texas is the more favored marquee in this matchup. But tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, he is hurt, and so are the one of his main wide receivers. But Spencer Sanders, who is the Oklahoma State quarterback, he's going to play. He's going to play. His shoulder is hurt a little bit, but he's going to play. These two teams have played the last 4 seasons. It's 2-2. Both teams are going to put up points. Both teams are going to score. I think if both teams were fully healthy, this number would be a lot closer than it is. And I think that's why the number is fluctuating, as you said. But Oklahoma State at home, their quarterback's going to play. Texas has faltered and shown vulnerability to the big play and to high-powered offenses. I think it's going to happen again. I'm going to take Oklahoma State to cover the 6.5. The hook may come in handy, but if Oklahoma State comes out good and Spencer Sanders is playing well, I don't see why Oklahoma State couldn't outright win this game. So I'm for sure going to take the points.
Yeah, I like that one too. Big 12 showdown. Who's got it? Texas or Oklahoma State? We know where Cam is leading at Oklahoma State. +6.5 could straight up win. We'll see. Excited about that Big 12 matchup. Hey, everyone, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much, Cam, for your college football expertise. All right, Cam, now we've got some NFL Sunday. Kansas City Chiefs -3 at the 49ers. Total at 48.5. I talked to Craig on his rapid fire about what he thought about this game. I'm a little worried for the Chiefs going into Jimmy G territory against the 49ers. I think the 49ers are figuring something out. Sometimes Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs struggle a little bit at this point in the season. Their defense, I'm not completely sold on, like I told Craig. So tell me how you think this one ends up.
Yeah, I agree. These two teams know each other. They played each other for the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And see, I hate to, do it out in the open like this, but I'm actually going to go against Craig. I think the Chiefs are still one of the better teams in all of football, and they just blew it against Buffalo this past week. And, a lot of people think that's going to decide who's going to have the number one seed. I think this is a get back game for Kansas City. I think they're the better team. I think they're going to play better. I think their defense will do enough against the mediocre 49ers offense. I did agree with Craig where he said, he thinks the Chiefs are gonna get the win. I do think they're gonna win, but I think the Chiefs are gonna find a way somewhere in this game to pull away, get the stop, something, and the Chiefs will score on consecutive possessions, and I think that'll be the difference. I'm gonna take the Chiefs to get the win and cover in a bounce back spot.
Yeah, it's also hard. This is a tough game to pick. I'm not going to lie. It's one of those ones I look at and I don't love betting on regardless because it's just a little unsure, but it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. It really is. He's just one of those guys that's going to make something happen. So yeah, both of you in that one, that'll be fun to see how that plays out. Thank you so much for all of your insight. Everyone, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much, Cam.
Of course.
Welcome into Picks and Parlays Power Hour. Thank you so much for tuning in on this lovely Wednesday. I'm your host, Hannah Mears, and we've got more to talk about. We are live 3 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. I'm bringing in Terry to talk some college football. He's got a 2-team parlay, but first, Terry, before we talk about that, let's tell everyone what they should do right now. Actually, not right this second. Maybe wait till after the Power Hour because you're not going to want to miss a single second of what we've got going on. But directly after this show, text your full name, first and last. You need to text your first and last to 614-810-7522. Get 2 free expert picks weekly. Free picks to tell you how to win money. You can't beat it, Terry. You know what else you can't beat? Some college football 2-team parlay. I'm so excited to see what you've got lined up for us. This Cincinnati SMU game is one that everybody seems to want to talk about. Cincinnati favored at -3, but a lot of the money, as I told Craig Trapp earlier in the show, is on SMU. I think everyone's just a little too excited how they performed last week against a Navy team that maybe isn't that great. So I'm not so sure about that. Total at 58.5. So what do you like about this?
Well, first, I guess I'll give myself a little plug. 3-0 currently on my parlays on the Power Hour. So lots of pressure here trying to go to 4-0. But this game stood out right away when I'm looking to make a parlay. I want a team that I'm confident will win at a good price, but obviously not too big of a favorite. And I think Cincinnati is like the perfect price in this game to win on the money line. I think they're the better team than SMU. Maybe SMU has home field advantage. But other than that, I think Cincinnati is the better team. So I like them on the money line to win as the first leg in my parlay.
All right. What's the money line set at in this game?
I believe it's -145.
Okay. Yeah. I like the Bearcats on money line in that. I could see that as well. So that's your pick. We've got Syracuse at Clemson as well. So Clemson -13.5. That's a lot for a Clemson team who, yes, maybe they're coming along, but a Syracuse team who's proved themselves a little bit this season that they could maybe keep it close. I don't know. 13.5 seems like a lot to me. If this may have been in previous years, I'd be like, absolutely hammer that. But total at 49.5. What are you thinking?
Well, what I did for this game is I agree 13.5 is too much. I wanted a little bit of an extra safety net, so I went to the alternate spread and took plus 14.5 with Syracuse. I think they keep this game close within 2 touchdowns. I don't think they win the game. I think Clemson probably squeaks out a win, but 14.5 points I think is a lot between these two. So I like the plus 14.5.
I like that you went for that alternate there because I think 13.5 just isn't quite enough. Not what we've seen from what Syracuse can do to some teams. So your 2-team parlay to recap, we've got Cincinnati on the money line against SMU, and we've got Syracuse plus 14.5 on that alternate spread against Clemson. I love it, Terry. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thanks so much, Terry. All right, we've got some NFL football. Browns at Ravens. All right, Ravens at -6.5. The Ravens lost a tough one last week, but do we believe in the Browns against a team like the Ravens? I'm not so sure, but I want to hear what Terry has to say. But before then, make sure you text your first and last name. That's your full name to 614-810-7522 to get 2 free expert picks weekly. All you have to do is do that one time, and you're signed in for life. So for all of our 4 lifers on picks and parlays, what do you have in this matchup, Terry?
Looking at this game here, both teams are finding ways to choke games. The Browns, they've done it their whole history as a team. Sorry to Browns fans, but I call it the Brown. Like when they brown, they just find ways to lose games. And the Ravens, they're also choking away leads. So I don't really like this side whatsoever. But the Browns defense, which is supposed to be so great, hasn't been lately, and I think the total's a little bit low here. I think this game ends up around 50, maybe a little bit over 50. So I like the over in this one. I think Baltimore will win it, but I don't know if they cover the 6.5. And I'm definitely not putting my money on the Browns. So for me, it's the over in this one.
I wouldn't be putting anything on the Browns at this point either, but I do like the over because Baltimore's also been one of those higher scoring teams in the league at this point. So I do think that they can pick that apart. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens got a lot to prove after last week, and they're going to be coming in hot, especially at home. That's a good one to pick. Lots of scoring, hopefully in that game, but make sure you don't miss out on Picks and Parlays Power Hour. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. You can get more Terry time if you make sure that you are not missing out. Thanks so much, Terry.
Thanks. See you.
I'm your host, Hannah Mears. You can follow me on Twitter at HanMears for all of my Mearsy minutes. Better yet, like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, picks, and parlays on YouTube so you don't miss any of our content that we post, including YouTube Shorts and all of the video content that we make throughout the week. My next guest on Picks and Parlays Power Hour is one of our twins, Nick Earl. Just talked to you not too long ago. Always a pleasure. I get you twice in one day. Did you switch your jersey out already?
I did a different jersey for the free pickup video earlier because it was a different team, but yeah.
Love it. All right. Well, he's going to go ahead and switch his jerseys out, depending. How many hockey jerseys do you have?
27 out of the 30 something teams or something along those lines.
And we've got endless possibilities. You know what else is endless possibilities? The fact that everyone can text their full name right now, first and last name, to 614-810-7522. Get 2 free expert picks weekly, full of endless possibilities and money in your pocket for free each week. But you must text your first and last name. All right. What I also want to talk about with you is the possibility of Mississippi State beating Alabama. What? Mississippi State at Alabama. Alabama favored at -21. I actually don't think Mississippi State wins this one, but -21, that seems like a lot of points right now for an Alabama team. I'm just like a little confused about who they are, as I think they're a bit confused at their identity at the moment. Total at 61, but you tell me what you think.
Yeah, these were 2 dogs that we cashed 2 dogs last week, fading both these teams with Kentucky and with Rocky Top winning outright, Tennessee outright against Alabama. So made money fading both these teams last week. I'm going to have to back one this week. And I had this game index power ranked at 15. So I think this is way too many points here for Alabama. I get it. They're off a loss. But this Alabama team has not been super convincing to me this year because the times they've had true challenges, they've struggled. They lost outright to Tennessee. They barely squeaked away with a win against A&M. They barely squeaked away with a win against Texas with their backup quarterback for half the game. This Alabama team has not been impressive to me, and I think they're one of those teams where they're like the Lakers. They're like the Yankees where they're overpriced. This is just a team that's always overpriced, and I always see value fading this team. We're going to go ahead and do that here. We're going to take 3 touchdowns with the Mississippi State Bulldogs. I don't think Mississippi wins this game outright, but I definitely think that this team is able to compete. Mississippi State has been decent this year. They are coming in off of a loss against Kentucky, which kind of knocked them out of any type of playoff contention, which they weren't really going to be a playoff contender, but they were 5-1 heading into that game. So I'm going to go ahead and take 3 touchdowns here with Mississippi State. I think that they're able to at least keep it semi-close.
I agree. I saw that number 21 and I was like, yep, I could ride with Mississippi State on that one for sure. Not against an Alabama team who, after what I saw last week, not that it's taking anything away from Tennessee, because I do think they're like a top 4 team this year in the college football playoff. I think if not 2 or 3 in that spot. So I'm not taking anything away, but I just think this is a lot of points right now for this Nick Saban team that seems to be struggling. All right.
Yeah, I also saw the Alabama defense last week. There was a stat where they gave up 52 points, which was the most amount of points that the Alabama defense has given up since 1907 or something along those lines. It was like over 100 years since they've given up more than 50 points in the game.
Yeah, this isn't the Bama team that Saban's used to be coaching.
No.
Let's be fair about that. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Nick, Earl, always a pleasure to talk college football with you. All right, now we need to talk about the NFL. We have the Steelers at the Dolphins. Dolphins favored at -7. I talked about this game with Craig. The total at 45, 44.5, depending where you look. I don't really know about the spread on this one. And I think it's because I have a little more confidence in the Steelers right now. But before I get your insight, text your full name, everyone out there watching, to 614-810-7522. Get 2 free expert picks weekly for free. You can't beat that out. Free picks every week. All you have to do is text your name. Absolutely. I'm here for it. Pittsburgh and Miami. I instantly want to lay points with Pittsburgh. Take the points with Pittsburgh in this one at +7 because I don't know. I think Pittsburgh's figuring it out maybe just a teeny bit. And I think that's all they need to do to beat the Dolphins this week. I know Tua's back, but he's, like Craig and I talked about, he's been getting hammered. I mean, like, his offensive line is not protecting it at all. And you have to be on your best game playing against the Steelers defensive line. So what do you think?
Yeah, we got to talk about the black and yellow, or the black and gold last week. I gave them out. My only regret with last week was I didn't take them straight up. I got them +10 on Sunday. I bet them on Sunday morning at +10. They came through for me there. And I'm shocked that Tua is going to be back. I'm surprised that guy's brain's not jello still. But beyond the point, I do think there's a little bit of value here with Pittsburgh taking the points, taking the full touchdown. And that's mainly because that also kind of correlates with the play I'm going to give out here, which it's pretty simple for me. If you've seen, if anybody out there has seen my content this whole entire NFL season, this game is being played at what time? 8:20? Yeah, we're going under the total here. I've played every single primetime game under the total this year, and they're 12-5-1. And I'm going to continue riding that until the end of the season, because the last 5 years entering the season, primetime unders hit at over 60%. And it's mainly because if this game was 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, we're probably looking at a 43.5, 44. The market's expecting the public to come in and bet overs on primetime games because they're the standalone games. Everybody wants to bet those. So usually the public comes in on the favorite and the over, and usually you'll get a better price on backing the unders, and it's proved with the streak that these primetime unders are on. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to ride those under 45 here. Pittsburgh and Miami with the lean towards Pittsburgh with the points.
Yeah, I'm not taking the over in this game either without knowing the state of Tua and how long he could be in this game either. I think that could really cause some problems, and I don't see the Steelers being a high-scoring team yet. I think they can cover the 7, but over 45, I don't know. Haven't seen it yet. Don't know about it. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow along. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Now it's my favorite time of the show, Thursday night football props. Nick, Earl, always love talking props with you. Saints and Cardinals, my Lord, can we stop with these Thursday night games? But that's beside the point. I want to know your 3 best prop bets. But first, everyone wants to know about some free picks we've got going on. All they have to do, text their full name, that's first and last name, to the number listed below. Get 2 free expert picks weekly. All you have to do is do that one time and you get them. Weekly, 2 free picks. Can't beat it. That's money in your pocket. Nick, Earl, give me your Thursday night football props for the New Orleans Saints at the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to text that number to see if they give out any of my plays, but that's beyond. Yeah, right. But that's beyond the point. Looking at this matchup here, for starters, I like under the total in this game, so it's kind of hard to come out with props for a game when you like the under, because this is another primetime game, and I'm riding those primetime unders. So what I end up coming up with here is I got Kyler Murray under 1.5 passing touchdowns, because if I think this game's going to go under, I think he's going to struggle, or I think both teams are going to struggle offensively. And that also probably correlates with him throwing an interception, because if I think that points are going to be struggle to come by, which I think turnovers may be able to happen here, especially Kyler Murray. He can get a little wild at sometimes. Sometimes he needs to learn how to throw the ball away. So I took Murray under 1.5 passing touchdowns. I took him under over half an interception. And another one is for the other side here. And I know it looks weird to see an over prop when I'm trying to promote an under in this game, but over 4.5 receptions for Alvin Kamara. And the main reason why is we don't know who the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints is going to be. If it's Andy Dalton or if it's Jameis Winston, but I'm going to look for Kamara to be one of those safety blankets where if there's nothing to throw, nowhere to throw, I'm going to look for them to drop off the ball to Alvin Kamara and get 5 receptions. There's a little dump off, so I'm going to take him over 4.5 receptions at plus 120. I think this is going to be a low scoring game, so I had to try to correlate something there. So a couple 5-yard receptions here for Alvin Kamara, get 5 of those, and I think that goes over as well. So that's where I'm looking at for this game.
Yeah, everyone can tune into my Mearsy Minute. That'll be happening shortly here. It might even be up in the next hour or two about what I think about Alvin Kamara going against the Arizona Cardinals. I know that they have a good defense against the run, but that quarterback situation, like you were talking about, made me want to lean toward Kamara a little bit more. So go ahead and get my best bet there as well in my Mearsy Minute. But as always, Nick, Earl, love your prop bets. Love what you've got going on. Always great insight. Always a pleasure to have you on Picks and Parlays Power Hour again. We are live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. I know so many people have been commenting. I wish I would have seen some of this stuff sooner. So make sure you ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss out. And once again, thank you so much for joining us for Picks and Parlays Power Hour.